In this era, there are a lot of financing methods being introduced to fulfill the needs of entrepreneurs, banking, and also consumers as well. These modes of financing are designed for various purposes such as for home financing, vehicle financing, and etc. However, as a Muslim, there are certain regulations and important considerations that need to be taken to account before they get into this kind of financing, such as need to be free from riba, maisir, warar, and other prohibitions as well. Focusing on conventional partnership and musharakah in Malaysia, conventional one was being practiced by Malaysia's conventional institutions since a long time ago, and it is still being used until now. However, apart from Islamic bank, conventional bank nowadays also had introduced and proposed Islamic windows as independent departments in their banks. They also had appointed religious authorities to authorize their operations in the bank. One of the examples is the Musharakah Mutanakisah financing by Maybank. This is likely to happen due to the rapid growth of Islamic finance all over the world, also including in Malaysia. Islamic finance products such as Musharakah is even expected to grow even more in the future due to the high demand from Muslim populations around the world.
May I help you? Good morning. My name is Najiha. The reason I come here is because I want to buy a house and I want to ask you to finance my house. And my friend suggested me to choose conventional contract because he said that there is no profit and loss agreement, and I also can get the full ownership of the house while the property paper remains in the bank.
Oh. Don't you know that Musharakah Mutanakisah is better than conventional one? As in Musharakah, the bank will not take interest. As we already know, if we take interest, it is considered as riba. And for your further information, I will give scenario. You as the client and I as the bank. And the bank and the client, I and you, will go on the house according to the predetermined rate. And for example, I will pay the house for 80% and you pay for 20%. And the bank, I will own the house first because I have more share on that investment, on that house. And you have to pay continuously until you pay all of the amount. And after that, you will get the ownership of the house.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, next we proceed to the accounting for Musharakah financing. To start with, there are few recognition and measurements of Musharakah contract by AAOI-FI. Okay, the first one is that according to AAOI-FI FAS4, Financial Accounting Standard 4, recognition of the Islamic bank's share capital, the cash or asset, shall be recognized when it is paid to the partner or be made available on the account of the Musharakah. This share shall be presented in the Islamic bank's book under a Musharakah financing account with the name of the client, and it shall be included in the financial statement under the heading Musharakah financing. IFIFAS4 also prescribe the measurement of the Islamic bank's share to Musharakah capital at the time of contracting shall be measured by the amount paid or made available to the partner on account of the Musharakah. In addition, expenses of the contracting procedures incurred by one or both parties shall not be considered as part of the Musharakah capital unless agreed by both parties. And the measurement of the Islamic bank's share in Musharakah capital after contracting at the end of the financial period shall be measured at historical cost. It is the amount of which was paid or at which the asset was valued at the time of contracting. Okay, last but not least, AAOI-FI FS4 also recommend that recognizations of Islamic bank share in Musharakah profits or loss shall be recognized in the Islamic bank's account at the time of liquidation. Okay, the next part about the Musharakah contract is about the AAOI-FI disclosure issue. There are 4 issues. The first one is about the financial risk. The second one is the rate of return risk. The third one is credit risk. And last but not least, equity investment risk. now we will compare Malaysia Financial Reporting Standard with the Musharakah. First is, in this standard, they have share-based payment. So what is actually share-based payment? Share-based payment is payment from any goods or services that provided from the employers. So in this partnership, we can get the share profits based on the proportion of capitals, and they also are entitled to get the salaries. However, in Islamic Musharakah, it is prohibited for them to get the salaries, and they are allowed to get the profit from the capital that they invested according to the ratio. And the second standard in the Malaysia Financial Reporting Standard, that is the borrowing cost. So in the borrowing cost, the cost is incurred because they borrowed some funds to get additional capital. Additional capital are important because they cannot proceed the business without it. So they will assume it as an investment. Therefore, in the partnership, they do recognize the interest on the loan and the capital from the partners. They can also increase the profits by having interest from the partners if they do the drawing. However, Musharakah are not allowed for the partners to have the interest.
MFRS is actually pretty similar with AAOI-FI. In Malaysia, we use MFRS more because it is easily to compare between the conventional bank and Islamic bank because they are using the same standards. So the capital in MFRS should be in the form of cash or intangible assets. The intangible asset must be in accordance with the relevance of MFRS, such as identifiable, readily available, and accessible at the date of commencement of MFRS. And the intangible assets cannot be in the forms of debt or owing receivable to the partners. For the profit gain in MFRS, the profit should be measured at the end of a certain period or upon the actual realization to get to know the exact actual amount of profit. A final financial adjustment must be made accordance with the relevance of MFRS so that we can know and reflect the actual amount of profit generated during the Musharakah ventures. For the capital, it is recognized at the end of the financial periods at the historical cost. Initially, these contracts are measured using by fair values, including direct and incremental transaction costs, but subsequently it will be measured at amortized cost using the direct yield method. On the other hand, MFRS usually measure the joint venture based on short-term investments and long-term investment. For the short-term investment, it will be measured at fair values or the lowest price of the cost transaction or the market values. But for long-term investment, it will be measured at the amounts of the costs. IFRS 12 states that the disclosure of the financial statement must be a must so that the users can evaluate the financial statement and evaluate the nature of risk of Musharakah venture.